Ain't no Dracos or Fofos, and you will not be saved by the COs. Sometimes it's not even safe when the doors close. Just knife play and hand-to-hand combat in a land where it's never calm at. Fake tough guys and actors sometimes get forced to put their boxers on backwards.
Say what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a pro violation. Yard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system, man. Now, let's hop right up into this video. So, lately, there's been a lot of talk about the former No Jumper host, Almighty Suspect, going to jail. You had a lot of different YouTube channels reporting that he was in PC. Now, recently, I guess he called in from the county jail, and he is claiming that he is not in PC. And so he also ended up letting another gang member that he was in there with, I guess an OG from Rolling 90s, vouch and verify that they wasn't in PC. So I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna play you guys that call right now. So yeah, check it out.
Y'all know what's going on, man. It's Big Face Herbert Displeasure, Six Figure Sus, whatever you want to call me, you feel me? I just want to let y'all know, all my fans, supporters, I'll be home soon. I'm not in no motherfucking PC. That ain't me, not never. Y'all already know what's going on with me, you feel me? And for all my supporters, make sure y'all tapping in, you feel me? We still gonna be dropping, we still gonna be doing what we do, you feel me? And make sure y'all slide over to the next slide too, you feel me? I got a little memo for y'all so y'all can know I ain't in no PC. I'm just motherfucking on my thing, minding my business, keeping my head up, you know? Free me till they free me. Alright, I'm about to put OG on the phone so he can let y'all know I ain't in no PC. We don't never get down like that. This bitch drawn down from 9-0. There ain't no PC up in us right here. Just let you know that, man.
Thank you.
All right, man.
So obviously, while he's been locked up, and they say his bond is pretty high. I think they said $380,000. The rumors has got back to him that he was in PC. Now, this was going on a couple of days ago, right? And so I heard other, like I said, channels reporting it. And to keep it 100 with y'all, I didn't want to jump right on no information like that without knowing if it was true or not. So I told myself I was going to kick back and wait, because I believed in 3 or 4 days, something would come out that would be a little bit more definitive, right? And like I said, the news obviously got back to him, and he made a call saying that no, he isn't. So right now, we got to go with that. And if he was, it'll definitely come out, right? But the reason I wasn't so quick to jump on the video is because, in my opinion, I think that's a cold title to put on an individual's reputation. Now, you may have some people out there saying, well, hey, chill, why does it even matter if he went to PC? Because he's always professed, or at least since I have become aware of him, he has always professed not to be a gang member, right? To some, it may have not made any difference, right? But I'm going to keep it 100. In the event he had went to PC, in my book, he definitely would have been a mark. And here is why, because in my opinion, man, the dude has too much tough energy. You have seen him often get into heated debates, heated discussions with individuals on No Jumper. Actually, we can also recall when he actually jumped and put the lefts and rights on the pimp, Little Kelpie, or at least the white dude who was calling himself a pimp. Now, you may have some people out there saying, well, chill, that kind of was justified because Little Kelpie called Almighty Suspect a bitch. And I would definitely say that had it just been him calling him a bitch, then yeah, it would have been justified. But during the whole course of that interview, Suspect was really on this dude's helmet real tough, verbally disrespecting him. Sometimes you can disrespect an individual and you don't have to call the dude a bitch, right? And then also, that was the second interview. He had been interviewed also by, at that point in time, he was a No Jumper host, Sharp. He had been interviewed by Sharp and Suspect. And they was on this dude, basically clowning him and telling him that he wasn't a pimp, that he was faking the game, and that he was giving the pimping game a bad name. Right now, in my opinion, you always can talk to an individual and convey your message without being disrespectful, calling a dude out of his name and stuff like that. So in my opinion, when Little Kelpie came back for the second interview with Almighty Suspect, I guess he had got it in his mind that he was going to defend himself a little bit more vigorously than he did the last time, and he wasn't going to stand for no disrespect. So during the course of the interview, when Almighty Suspect continuously disrespected him and was talking to him crazy, then yeah, he called Almighty Suspect a bitch. But like I said, in my opinion, Almighty Suspect brought that disrespect upon himself because he had long been dissing Little Kelpie, right? And then we seen him get into it also with Brandon, and this is more recently, right? And Almighty Suspect had a lot of tough energy for Brandon, you know, talking crazy, just going back and forth, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, and to keep it 100, where Almighty Suspect kind of lost me, right, is when he got into it with the female co-host who was on No Jumper. I believe her name was Jalik, if I'm not mistaken, right? Don't quote me on that, but it's something around there. In my opinion, oh man, he was really disrespectful toward her at some point in times during their discussion, right? I understand that this is a podcast, and from time to time, people will have opinions that don't always match. But once again, you know, the way you got at her, and especially her being a female, you know, to me, your energy was way too tough. So in the event you happen to have tough energy on all those occasions and more, and even though you're a non-gang member, even though you're a non-affiliate, when it's time for you to go to jail, you talk to the guards or whoever you need to talk to, and you tell them that I'm hearing voices, I'm gonna commit suicide, or whatever it was reported he said in order to get placed in protective custody. That definitely would have been something that would have made a dude a mark in my book, because like I said, here's why. Now say you had been on there on No Jumper, you was the type of host that Adam 22 was in relation to speaking to the guests, you know. I've never seen Adam get tough, get disrespectful, or get out of line. So had you been one of those individuals and then you got caught up in whatever type of criminal situation, legal situation, and you went to LA County Jail and then you chose to go PC, I don't necessarily think a lot of people would have had a problem with that. And to me, you definitely wouldn't have been a mark in my book, right? But like I said, for the individuals who love to have tough energy, you can't have selective tough energy, meaning that you got to be tough with everybody, you know. And so when you go to jail, you can best believe, especially up in that LA County, it's going to be a lot of people that you can have tough energy with, and they're going to oblige you on that, right? So if you want to be tough with cats in the free world, when you go to jail, you definitely have to keep that same energy. And like I said, so had he went to PC, definitely in my book, that would have made him a mark. And I'm reiterating once again, in the event it comes out that he did go PC, then yeah, in my opinion, that definitely was a mark move, because you can't be tough with certain individuals, and then when you go into a place where you know people are going to match your energy with that toughness, it's going to be fades and some more stuff. All of a sudden then you want to get nice and PC up. But anyway, look, y'all already know who it is. It's your boy 16 to Life. I got a Chances interview coming up pretty soon, man, and Chances speaks on the Dubs disrespect. Anyway, man, y'all already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to Life. Resume normal program.